My buddy and I on a Thanksgiving night, we're doing a little like local bar crawl, just checking out all the bars that were still open. And we end up getting into an Uber with this guy who he's talking. He's like, yeah, man, I used to go out in downtown Fullerton. Fuck, dude, I used to go to, what's that one bar? Not Back Alley, but it's like right by JP33 or something like that. JP33.
That one's got a really bad reputation for date rape.
for date rape. Yeah.
Really?
Well, this guy though was apparently was the fucking Golden Gloves champion of JP33 because he starts talking. He's like,
"That's a horrible title." Given what we just said, Golden Gloves.
No. He's like, nah, dog. Like one time I was out at JP33 and like, you know, I see this guy like he's eyeing up my homeboy, and so I walk up and I'm like, hey, what's up, dog? And then he gets in my face and I knock that fucker out. And then suddenly it's like 6-on-6 and he's like telling the story. Based off the way he told the story, it sounded like it was 6-on-6. He knocked out the guy in front of him first very quickly. And then from there, it was like he was coming from the side with everybody else and he just kept knocking dudes out.
You know what?
It was the way he described it. We're in the back seat, and I'm just like,
they're in a perfect line to get punched in the face.
Yeah, I literally was like, I was like, that can't possibly be what happened. It's like,
well, here's the thing:
you can't have been going like, oh.
They were like those things at the carnival that just like
yeah, exactly. And then he told another story about like another dive bar in Fullerton, and he goes, yeah, dog, like, you know, I got in a fight and I just, you know, I stood on business. And then after the fight, the bouncers were like, hey, you want a job here? It's like, oh, okay.
The archetype of the Mexican, what would you call it? Habitual liar? What's the word I'm looking for?
It's compulsive liar.
Compulsive liar.
Yeah.
That's a very true kind of person.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, here's the thing. You kind of touched on it. I've noticed this amongst dudes who are known to get into fights. They never really establish like how the fight started. It's always just like, it always starts with them just chilling and minding their own business.
Yeah.
And then suddenly it's a 6-on-6 fight where there's a line of dudes getting decked. It's like, what happened? My uncle likes to do that when he tells stories where you're like, I was at a traffic stop. One thing led to another. I had to pull this guy out of his car. And you're like, what do you mean?
Oh, you had to?
Yeah, one thing led to another.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because also like if it's true, like if guys who get into fights a lot, if everything they said was true, they would also be the most unlucky guy of all time.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, bro.
I remember my uncle said one time he was just minding his business eating a hot dog. And then he said somebody came up while he was mid-bite and punched the hot dog into his face. He like told that story to me and my mom was like, all right, but why did he do it? And he was like, I don't know. Well, this is a guy who gets in fights regularly where it's like, okay, you did something. Nobody just sees a guy eating a hot dog and fucking blasts him right while they're taking a bite.
You know, I do wonder about guys who get in fights a lot. I wonder if it's, and you know, it sounds like maybe they're compulsively lying and just trying to shape a narrative to make it seem like they had every reason to start the fight.
Yeah.
I do wonder if getting in fights is the same thing as when you're on a roll and suddenly it feels like women are just approaching you. Like you're in the zone and it feels like you don't have to do anything and you just like your aura draws them to you.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's the same thing for guys who are just like pissed off, like they'd be punching drywall at home if they weren't out.
Well, I mean,
in the position to
certainly guys who get in lots of fights, like that attitude brings fights.
Yeah,
right?
no, of course.
I
mean like what your uncle's talking about, where a guy he's just eating a hot dog, and then some guy goes. I wonder if it's like a perfect synchronicity of where it's like, I know that guy. That guy, he's been looking for this for a long time.
Actually, you're completely right about that. It's
It's
basically hypergamy for retarded dudes who like to fight.
Yeah.
It's like there's just a vibe they put out where other idiots are like, I'm gonna fucking try to beat this guy.
Oh, dude, when I was
this guy minding his own business and chilling.
He's just chilling. Yeah.
Look at this guy.
When I was a bouncer, I still remember the first big fight I ever saw was a guy who I don't know. I guess he exchanged a couple words in Spanish with a guy inside the bar, and then at the end of the night, they're hanging out outside, and he's eating 2 hot dogs. This guy who I had we talked. He was like one of those.
Talking to the mic a little more.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like that. Just like that.
He's one of those guys. He's chill, but he's getting a little too chill with the bouncers.
Yeah.
One of those things where it's like, I think this guy knows that he might get into a fight tonight, and he's just trying to be friends with all the bouncers. But he's outside. He's outside after, like, right as the bar closes, and he's eaten 2 hot dogs, and he's got one that he's eating, and he's got the other one, and then he looks at me and he goes, "Hey man, you want this hot dog?" And I was like, "Oh man, I appreciate it, but I'm good. And then this guy that he had been chirping at inside the bar comes up to him, and they start talking in Spanish, and I think I heard the word like, according to another bouncer later, it's like a way of saying like pedophile. He goes, the guy who went up to talk to him, calls him, I think it was like, I remember the word, it sounded like pecera. He's like, pinche pecera. Yeah. And then I was like, all right, whatever. But the guy who was eating the hot dog goes, pecera? And then he takes his half-eaten hot dog and he throws it at the guy. And I thought it was a joke. I thought they were friends. I thought they were just fucking around. But then he tries to get him into a flying tackle. Yeah. Right.
But he misses. They were just
I had no idea because I don't know. I just assume everybody who's speaking Spanish to each other are friends. You know. So he tries to get him into a flying tackle, but he's drunk, so he misses, and his arm slides off, and he ends up on the floor. And then immediately, it was literally like. I can't even describe it, but it was like there were like these little holes that these guys came out of to start kicking him in the head. So they're kicking him in the head.
Did you see the sewer manhole pop up?
Yeah, it was literally like the manhole's open, and suddenly there's 6 cholos kicking this guy in the head.
The Nalgas turtles.
Yeah. Teenage Mutant Nalgas turtles. Yeah, so they're
Miguel Angelo. Ay, cabrón. Pinche minding your own business and shit.
Yeah. So they're kicking this guy in the head. And then I get in the middle of it, it's all instinct, but apparently you're not supposed to get in the middle. At any dive bar in Costa Mesa, you don't get in the middle of a Cholo fight. You don't. So I get in the middle of it, but I was just kind of going like, cut it out, cut it out. They're not going to hit me. Like, they're still on
Cholo's
the property.
Violently kicking a guy in the head. Hey, all right, guys, let's cut it out.
Let's cut it out. That's exactly what I was doing.
Well, Cholo's killing each other, then Pat going, I'm going to count to 3. 1.
So the head bartender and another bouncer pick up the guy who was just getting his head kicked in, right? And they pull him back and they sit him on one of these wooden lunch tables. And, we're clearing them all out. But the guy who just got his shit kicked in decides he wants to restart the fight. But he'd been sagging his pants.
Oh, I've heard this.
You've heard
this
it. I told you this one
stories,
like 4 years ago. Yeah, when it happened. You heard it like within 12 hours of it happening.
forgot about this. This is a great story.
So he'd been sagging his pants, and I was the guy, I was like the point man for breaking up the middle of the Cholo fight. So I was the guy like right in the middle of all of it. There was one guy even trying to like he would go up to me and he'd like get really close and he'd go like, ha! And then I'd be like, no, like that. So all of a sudden I hear the commotion behind me and I hear the victim, let's say. Yeah. He pushes past me and he's trying to restart the fight. So he's trying to start throwing punches, but he'd been sagging his pants and his pants hit his ankles and he tripped on his pants. And the last thing I remember seeing before I had to go again into the like mode of just get these guys away from him. I don't want to have to clean a guy's brains off the asphalt. is this guy's Calvin Klein underwear symbol, like just looking at it as he tumbles forward, and he got 3 more kicks in the head before we cleared him out.
It'd be funny if a guy got his head cracked open by Cholos kicking him outside of a bar, and then the police and like the crime special victims unit made the bouncer clean it up.
Yeah. Well, you're the newest one on staff, so you got to clean it up.